Good morning everyone. I hope all of you are well. Today before starting my lesson, I just want to make few things clear that this week I'm taking as a revision week, and all the chapters that is done so far, I have tried to gather all the material on these slides. And what you have to do, you have to go through your books as well, and I have given all the references, page numbers, so things become more clear and easy for you. So for example, just see from chapter 24 till 28 is done in the classes, and because more than half of the syllabus is done by the previous teacher, so I tried to collect it everything accordingly. So from 24 to 28 it's done, and that is on page 678 to 802. Then you can see that this week, like I will in every class I will pick up 2 or 3 lessons and chapters and different lessons, so that we can just pick up more main important things and we can revise them together. But after I finish, you also need to see your books for more details. So today I'm taking chapter 24 to revise. Nationalist revolution sweep the West, and then I'm taking chapter 25, the Industrial Revolution. So we will do both together, and what I will do, I have collected few terms and the main idea in the lesson. So let's begin. Like first lesson I took, like Latin American peoples win independence. So in this lesson you have learned how Latin American countries became independent, and you have also identified details about Latin American independence movement. And few terms I would like to revise, like peninsular. Here you see peninsular. What is peninsular? It's Latin Americans who born in Spain. Then we have here Creole. Okay, what is Creole? It's a Spaniard born in Latin American. So you can revise them, like what is, when you heard a term peninsular, you should know what does it mean. Creole, what does it mean? Then we have mulatto. It's a person name, a person of mixed European and African ancestry. And then here is the name of a person, Simon Bolivar. Who was Simon Bolivar? He was a leader of Venezuelan independence movement. Then we have Jose de San Martin. It's a Spanish or I think French names. Jose de San Martin. He was a leader and he helped win independence for Chile and Argentina. Then we have another name, that is Miguel Hadilog. Miguel Hadilog. He was a priest who began the revolt against Spanish rule in Mexico. And at the end, from this chapter I chose Maria Marols. Here is also a name of a leader of the Mexican revolt after Hadilog was defeated. The next lesson I choose was Europe faces revolutions. And in this lesson you learn about revolutions in Europe and also analyze the outcomes of the revolutions in Europe. And here few terms, like what do you mean by conservative? When you hear this word conservative means a person who supported the monarchy. In this, like according to in world history, when in American history, when you hear in history, whenever you listen or read this word conservative, then it means a person who supported the monarchy. Liberal is a person who wanted to give more power to elected legislature, like legislatures, like people of Congress. Then we have anarchism. Anarchism is basically a belief that government is harmful and not needed. It's a belief of few people who thinks that government is harmful and it's not. There is no need of any kind of government. Then we have nationalism. It is also a belief, and it's a belief that a person's loyalty belongs to the nation itself instead of the nation's ruler. Then we have nation state. Nation state means a country with its own independent government. Then it's the name of a region, Balkans. Balkans is a region including all or part of present-day Greece, Albania, Bulgaria, Romania, Turkey. All this region is known as Balkans, and then Alexander, ruler of Russia, who freed the Tsars. Okay, then next lesson I chose is nationalism. In this lesson you have learned about nationalism and what were the major events in the unification of Italy and Germany. All of these topics were discussed in detail in this lesson. So few of the terms like Russification here. So what is Russification? It is a policy of forcing Russian culture on ethnic groups in the Russian Empire. Then we have another name, that is Camillo the Coward. Camillo the Coward. He is a name. He was a prime minister who unified northern Italy. Then there is another name of a leader, Giuseppe Garibaldi. Giuseppe Garibaldi. It's a name of a leader of the. He was a leader of the Red Shirts movement who won control over parts of the southern Italy. Then what is Junker? Junker is basically wealthy German landholders. And Otto von Bismarck. Otto von Bismarck is also a name of a leader who worked to expand Prussia. And at end we have Kaiser. He was an emperor. Next lesson is the beginning of industrialization, and it is I think chapter 25. So in this lesson you read about the beginning of industrial revolutions and also learned or discussed about the important events in Britain industrialization. And then we should know few terms about when you read a word industrial revolution. What is industrial revolution? It is it's a great increase in machine production that began in England in the 18th century. Then we have crop rotation. What is crop rotation? It's a method like planting a different crop in the same field each year to allow the soil to regenerate. It's a system. And then what is industrialization, by the way? It's a process of developing machine production of goods. Then you read another term, factors of production. What are the factors of production? They are the conditions which are needed to produce goods and services. Then a very popular term, entrepreneur. Entrepreneur means a person who organizes, manages and takes on the official risk of business enterprise. At the end we have a name, and that name is Henry Bessemer. Henry Bessemer, he was a British engineer who developed a way to mass production steel cheaply. Next lesson is industrialization spread. Industrialization spread. In this lesson you see how industrialization spread to other nations, and also learned about the industrialization in the United States, in Europe and around the world. So first term is mass production. What is mass production? Basically it is a system of manufacturing large quantities of identical items. Then you will read another term like interchangeable parts. What are interchangeable parts? These are the machine parts that are identical and manufactured by the machine. Then you will read a term assembly line. Assembly line is basically like each worker does one step of a manufacturing process. Division of labor means different workers doing individual and different tasks. Then specialization, very easy. Separation of tasks. And economic interdependence is like it's a people in a society relying on other people. This is called economic interdependence. At the end we have another term, corporation. What does the mean of corporation? Corporation means a business that is owned by a stockholder and who share in its profit but are not responsible for its debts. Okay, so a corporation means a business owned by a stockholder. Who shares in its profits but he is not responsible for its debts. And then we have reforming the industrial world. In this lesson you learned about new ideas and reforms of industrialization, and also you learn about the characteristics of capitalism and socialism. So here at the beginning we have a name, that is Adam Smith. Who was Adam Smith? He was a philosopher who defended laissez-faire economics. Then another term is capitalism. Capitalism is an economic system in which people invest money to make a profit. And then we have utilitarianism. 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 It's a belief that an idea is only as good as it is useful. So if the idea is not useful, then it's not utilitarianism. Then we have socialism. Socialism, it is also a belief. I think it's not it's a utilitarianism. You just check its pronunciation one more time on Google. I think I'm making it wrong. I'm saying wrong. It's utilitarianism. Utilitarianism. You just check it on Google one more time. Okay. Then we have Karl Marx. He was an economic thinker, and he wrote about a radical form of socialism. Then we have communism. What is communism? It's a form of socialism in which all production is owned by the people. Then very easy term, union. You must have read this or heard this term often. Union mean an organized group of workers that bargain with the business owners to get better pay and working condition. And then strike, again very easy. Strike mean organized refusal to work. What I did at the end, that I picked up few questions from each lesson, but these are not the only questions you are supposed to learn. There are much more than that, so you have to see through your books, and you also see the assessments at the end of each chapter. So few questions I just collected for you, but the rest you will also do, like what classes existed in Latin American society, where in Latin America was independent first declared, what forces and people struggled for power. These all things you need to think, and you have to find their answers. How did Alexander to change Russia? What unites people and create a strong national feeling? Why did nationalism divide empires? You should know these things. How was Germany united? You should know the whole process, or if there was any kind of movement. What was the result of the defeat of France and the uniting of Germany? How did industrialization begin in the United States? How did both the government and workers themselves try to improve workers' life? How did the Industrial Revolution begin? How are the ideas of capitalism and socialism different? And at the end, what invention helped change business? So here, the last thing, the most important, the first, that don't let this be you. Plan ahead. And then the final task for you for today is to prepare assessment of chapter 24 and 25, and you will find it on page 678 to 714. So what you have to do, you have to read the main things from your chapters and mark them or use a highlighter, and then at the end try to answer all those questions I gave, and the rest you find in the assessment at the end of your chapter. So meantime, take care of yourself. See you again.